Welcome to the Hard Rapp Cafe. I'm your host, Rocky Dennis. On this week's episode, co-hosted by Smoke God, I'll be interviewing Big Kev as we take a journey through Kev's life and music career, starting in Danville and coming to Newport News, eventually landing in the Buckrow area of Hampton, Virginia. We'll also discuss the days of Certified Dope and the infamous B-Mob, before becoming a solo artist and signing his first record deal with Loud by way of McBenzo and Pay Up Records, producing the hit single, Let Me Hold You. And finally, the last hoorah, getting locked up in the middle of signing a $250,000 deal with Universal Records and coming home 7 years later to nothing. So tune in as we tap in with Big Kev.
I slipped into my Denzel mode, and she whispered before you go.
It's only for one night. Let me keep you near. Either way,
I just wanna ease your mind.
it would be so nice. If only for one.
Let's get into it. Here we go, my man. Big Kev, welcome to Hard Rapp Cafe, brother.
What's up, fellas, man? How y'all feeling?
Feeling
Good,
good,
man.
feeling good.
Good, man.
Word.
Good, man. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm all right, man. Yesterday out the blue, man, this little head cold hit me. I'm a little congested, so I spent the whole day really just trying to rest up and get this stuff about me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, man. So let's jump right into it, man. Birthplace, man, in high school, man. Where was you born at and where did you go to school?
Well, I was born in Danville, Virginia. That's where most of my family is at, and I spent like my younger years there. Then we moved here to I actually moved to Newport News the summer of 7th grade, and I stayed downtown for like a year. Then we moved to Hampton, and I went to Phoebus. I graduated from Phoebus and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so what was it like, man? What was like some of the differences, like from Danville moving to the Newport News, Hampton area?
Well, it was a big change because Danville was more like a country setting. You know what I'm saying? When I first moved here, I had never seen like young teenagers hustling and all that. So, it was a little different. My first day at school at Huntington, somebody got shot in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Like my first day at school, my mom was like, "Oh, this ain't, I don't know, we want to be here."
Yeah. So Danville, man. Yeah, I definitely heard of Danville.
Yeah, I think NBA player Johnny Newman, you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to GW in Danville. So he from there.
Okay.
I don't really know if a lot of other famous people were from there, but I know he was a big deal from out there. You know what I'm saying?
So Big Kev out of Danville, man, coming to Newport News around the 7th grade, and you said it was a little different from you. You know what I'm saying? They was with the gunplay out there early.
Yeah, and young kids hustling. Like where I came from, you didn't really see nothing like that. All the young boys was playing sports and riding dirt bikes and stuff like that. So it was definitely a different atmosphere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what era was this? Was this like the 70s, 80s, 90s?
This was like the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, because I graduated in 95.
Okay. Yeah, man. So I was checking out this this series that you got that you've been posting on your Facebook page called The Truth and Nothing But. Now this breaks down your story, man. If y'all, you know what I mean, haven't tapped in to Big Kev, you know what I mean, The Truth and Nothing But series, man, go check it out. Very dope, very informative, man. Yeah, you got a hell of a story. So now I was able to watch most of the series But I had, a few questions. Now, the music hit you in high school or before? What was going on? Like, what was the hip hop scene like in Virginia at this time you was at Phoebus? You know what I mean?
I want to say the biggest local rapper from the area at that time was Charles Barlow. He had a tape out, and we used to ride around and listen to it. One of my homies was his cousin, and he was actually the first local rapper that I seen that I felt like he was going somewhere. People was riding around bumping his tape, and he had a lot of motion. It was another rapper I didn't go to school with him, but he went to Phoebus. It was this kid dude named Third Letter. He had a name for himself. So it was, it was a little. It wasn't as many people rapping. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but as time went on, of course more people started to pop on. I wasn't really familiar with a lot of guys across the water and stuff like that while I was in school, you know what I'm saying? But I kind of just had really just focused on what we was trying to do, because we were young and we had our own little crew. We didn't really hang out with a bunch of people, so we was really just focused on trying to make Certified Dope, the group that I was in, trying to make that pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Certified Dope.
Let me ask you this question, because you said when you first came from Danville, you moved to Newport News, but then you moved to Hampton. Now I'm a transplant just like you, but what I learned when I moved to Virginia and ventured into the peninsula, that it was kind of like a borderline, even like between Hampton and Newport News. Like, I came in at a time where Hampton niggas couldn't come to Newport News, like on some street shit. Now, were you aware of that, like in junior high school, and then going from Newport News and then moving to Hampton? And then as far as the music, were you aware of groups coming from Newport News?
Well, when I moved to Hampton, right, I didn't really know how the Hampton Newport News thing worked. But when I moved to Hampton, the Phoebus Raiders was a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And you had another group, the white kids from Fox Hill. They was called like the White Sox. So it was like gangs and shit going on. And I didn't learn till later that, Hampton and Newport News didn't really rock with each other like that. When I was in school, Abu, I went to school with Abu from the Born Nats for a little while. He was rapping. It was a kid named Solo from downtown. He was rapping. He was real nice. I don't even think it was a Born Natural yet. The group Born Naturals hadn't even been put together yet. You know what I'm saying? So
what year was it? Around what time?
Maybe 89, 90, something like that. I actually, Kevin Swill, he went to Huntington. Whenever he came to school, he didn't come to school a lot. Keith Barlow, a lot of those cats. So, a lot of people don't really know, but I was in school with a lot of them. And then we moved to Phoebus, and I started going to Spratley, you know what I'm saying? Because I went to Huntington at first.
So Certified Dope was the crew that y'all were forming. Now, I can't recall that, did that come from the B Mob? I know you said you had to changed your name from the B Mob, correct? Because of the infamous Mob Deep situation?
Yeah. Well, Certified Dope was the original group, you know what I'm saying, that we was in. And being that I'm from Buckrow, they had a gang back then called the Buckrow Mob. And we used to all hang out at the beach, you know what I'm saying? And we would be 30, 40 deep, like every week when they had the movies and all that stuff at Buckrow Beach. So when we was in high school and we started going to the Heartbreak Alley for teen night, we used to call ourselves Buckrow's Infamous. Certified Dope hadn't been really put into play yet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And we was calling ourselves Buckrow's Infamous. And then one of my homies had seen the Mobb Deep Shook Ones video. And he was like, yo, there's a group called the Infamous Mobb Deep. Like we can't call ourselves Buckrow's Infamous because people are gonna think that we bit off of them.
Right.
So then we changed the name to Certified Dope. And after Certified Dope kind of went our separate ways, that's when the whole Buckrow Mob thing came into play. You know what I'm saying? I figured I was from Buckrow and I wanted to take the Buckrow Mob name and turn it into something positive. Versus it being on some gang shit. And my old manager, his name was Vinny. He was the one who said that B-Mob was more marketable than Buckrow Mob. You know what I'm saying? So we shortened it from Buckrow Mob to B-Mob. You know what I'm saying?
So was it the local artists that, you know what I'm saying, sparked you to do your own music, or was it, artists you were hearing on the radio at this time?
Well, I always had been into music. You know what I'm saying? Just growing up, I always was into music. And I used to write little raps, but I never let nobody hear me. You know what I'm saying? Because, I thought I was kind of whack. You know what I'm saying? And I was just trying to develop, my skill, should I say. But as far as local rappers, like I was saying earlier, the only rapper that I personally at that time seen that motivated me was Charles Barlow, because he was the first person that I ever witnessed that people was actually riding around listening to his tape and bumping his tape, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want. I want niggas riding around listening to my shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So he was the first rapper that inspired me to go for my own thing, you know what I'm saying? But as time went on, you know what I'm saying, more artists started to pop up and you would learn. But he was really the first rapper I seen that like had his own shit. He had the posters and the flyers and all that. And I was like, yeah, that's how it's gotta be done. You know what I'm saying?
So when did you jump off the porch into them streets, Big Kev?
Really like going into the 10th grade, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know, but I lived in a hotel for a big part of my life. My mom was a maid for the hotel, and we was fucked up. We didn't really have no bread, and my step pops used to get high. You know what I'm saying? And so it was always kind of rough. My step pops would get paid and he would spend his whole paycheck getting high, and then the hotel would be threatening to put us out on the street. And we didn't know nobody here like that for real. I didn't have no family here, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing little shit, copping double ups. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Copping grams and breaking them down into 20s and shit like that. Just trying to get a couple of dollars so I could buy nice school shoes and shit like that, because my mom didn't really have the extra money. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, she would get her paycheck and they would damn near keep the whole paycheck except for a few dollars. You know what I'm saying? And we needed that for food. So the fact that we didn't really have much made me say, you know what, I need to get some money. And I was around a lot of fiends. You know what I'm saying? I knew a lot of fiends. So I just started, copping a little bit of work just to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, these shoes cost $100. I need to make $100 real quick. You know what I'm saying? That's how I really started. You know what I'm saying? And then, I had a job. I worked at the Farm Fresh in Phoebus from 10th grade to 12th grade. So once I started working and get my paycheck, I would take half my paycheck and flip it. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to get some money.
Right.
Let me ask you this. A lot of places are known, like I lived out Virginia Beach, and I've stayed at a hotel before, you know, where a lot of these hotels are like fiend hotels. Was the hotel that you and your family stayed at one of those type of hotels?
Yeah, we was at the Golden
Things.
Yeah, we was at the Golden Sands. Yeah, I was right at the Golden Sands in the heart of Buckrow. And what really got me into it was all the New York niggas used to come down from out of town and they would stay there. And all the Mexicans, when they would come in off the scallop boats, they would stay there. And all the prostitutes would be running around, and you know what I'm saying? And you know, it used to be a little crazy. So the New York niggas really taught me how to hustle a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just by watching them. They used to send me to the store and they would give me like $40 to go to the store and get shit for them and shit like that. And then one day, I'll never forget, I don't even know if he's still alive, but this dude named Easy, he was from New York and he used to run the crew. Like he was the leader of their crew. And one day he just started showing me shit in the hotel room. And he was just like, if you got some money, you can get people to do anything you want. You know what I'm saying? And my mom was the maid. So when the police would get ready to kick their doors in, she would tell them, like, look, y'all better get y'all shit about it. Here the police coming up in here tomorrow. So they would switch their rooms and shit like that. So they would look out for my mom and give her money for letting them know that the police was about to kick their shit in. You know what I'm saying? So it was, at that time, Golden Sands was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? It was all students and everything going on out there. And I'm a young boy and I'm outside witnessing all this. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the members of Certified Dope, did you run across them, you know, in high school while you was at Phoebus?
Well, yeah, really before high school, me and Brian Perry became friends first. He was one of the first people that I became friends with out here. And I met John through Brian. And Lo used to hang out Buckrow. And I met Eric, DJ through Brian's older brother, Kevin. You know what I'm saying? And he was a DJ back then. And that's really how, you know, it all started. Like Brian and John, they wasn't even... back then dancing was the thing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Lo used to teach them how to make up these dance routines, and people used to trip because they was two white guys that could dance. You know, they'd be like, white people ain't got no rhythm, you know what I'm saying? So when people used to see them dancing, they used to be like, yo, these two white boys can fucking dance, yo. And I started writing their raps for them, you know what I'm saying? And teaching them the raps because, you know, the vision was to make them a group. Once, you know, if we ever popped off and made some money, the vision was to make them a group of their own, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we were friends before high school.
Oh, okay. So what moves did y'all, you know what I mean, when did you start the buzz as far as get the buzz from your music? Was it during the Certified Dope era or was it after that?
Yeah, it was during the Certified Dope era. When we dropped this tape called Out for Fame, we sold a lot of copies of that tape at $5. And, you know, we would go to the high schools and the teen center and people was buying the tapes. And that's what started it, you know what I'm saying? And when people, you know, I guess they would say I was the standout guy of the group or whatever the case may be. But that's how I really started it, you know what I'm saying? And going to the teen center and the Heartbreak Alley for teen night, when I started winning these competitions, it was just like people was like, yo, you know, you should take this a little bit more seriously. And being that all the high schools used to go there, you know what I'm saying? That's how we really started to meet people and know people. And, you know, as the years, that just kept going, you know what I mean? And the word spread around, you know what I mean?
So Certified Dope comes together in the late 80s or early 90s?
Early 90s.
Early 90s. Now, the moves y'all were making, man, making noise, eventually it would come to a point where the group disbanded. I know you talked about one of the members going to, you know, moving to New York with a chick, man. What was that like in that time, man? How did that make you feel? Cause you know, y'all was making these moves, man, and making some noise, man. What was that like, bro?
I was angry, you know, and at the time I didn't that was my only source of recording and things of that nature. And I didn't really know, you know, what was going to happen. It messed up our friendship for years. You know, we didn't talk for a very, very long time. And then, you know, as time, you know, they say time heals all wounds, you know, as time went on and I started doing my own thing, you know, I kind of got over it. But I was angry as a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Because we had put a lot of time into it. And I didn't really know what my next move was going to be, you know, because his mom we had the studio set up at his house, and you know, I probably spent 90% of my time, if I wasn't in school, over at his house. You know, we was working on music and trying to come up with beats and concepts for songs. So once he said he was moving and selling all the equipment, like I was like, yo, you on some bozo shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I was angry with him. But you know, that eventually led to, you know, me stepping out, just saying, no, fuck it, I'm gonna go for mine. You know what I'm saying? And everybody gonna do what they want to do, and this is what I'm gonna focus on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So the street aspect of what you were dealing with and the music pretty much coincided. It was parallel through, you know, the early part of your music career, basically.
Kinda. I was just on some real petty hustle shit, but once I got out of school, once I graduated, and that's when I kind of like got really into the streets, you know what I'm saying? And I never wanted to do that though. Like I never wanted to sell no type of drugs or hustle. It was just I needed money, and I knew at a young age to make moves you had to have money. Like, you know, you couldn't make moves without no money. And back then, you know, the cocaine, crack, whatever you want to call it, it was plentiful. You know, the streets was flooded. And once I seen, you know, a couple of $1,000 for the first time in my life, I kind of was just like, yo, this is what I'm gonna do to get this money up. You know what I'm saying? And
you talked about a situation where your life was almost taken by some people that you knew.
Yeah.
What was that like, man, as far as, you know, did it make you go harder in the streets, or did you think about saying, man, fuck this shit?
Well, you know, it showed me that niggas in the streets ain't got no loyalty. You know, because I knew these niggas. And I had knew them for a long time. So it showed me that for the right price, or if a person is doing bad, they could turn their back and get on some new shit with you at any time, at any given time. And even though that happened, right, I don't want to say it made me say I ain't gonna do this no more. It just made me cautious of who I was dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And it made me, to this day, I'm cautious of people that I'm around. Because, you know, I learned a long time ago that everybody you think is your homie ain't. And sometimes, you know, niggas be around and they be watching, and they come up with some bullshit. Niggas be scheming, you know what I mean? One thing that I have seen is that no matter how you want to call it, if you out here in these streets, you got to be prepared for people to switch up on you. You know what I'm saying? Because motherfuckers will be cool with you today, and then tomorrow they'll be up in your house with masks and guns, ready to kill you and your whole family for a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm real big on that, not telling niggas your next move or what you got going on, because sometimes you be educating the enemy on how to, attack you. You know what I'm saying? And when you have those type of niggas around you, they dangerous because you don't really know their real motive. You know what I'm saying? You think they're your friend until something happens. Then you realize that niggas didn't really fuck with you the way you thought they did. You know what I'm saying?
That's real shit, bro.
All right, man, that's real as fuck.
So keeping a timeline. So coming from Danville, 7th grade, running across people that would eventually become certified dope. Y'all did shit. Y'all was making a buzz. I think you said you opened up for Coolio or some shit like that.
Yeah. We won a competition and got to open up for Coolio at the amphibious base over in Norfolk.
Yeah, so
that was cool.
Yeah, damn right. Coolio had some joints, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know what I'm saying, at that time, man. What did that feel like, you know what I'm saying, getting the stamp from an artist like that at that time?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I felt like I was gonna be the biggest shit that ever came out of Virginia, right. I never ever really thought about doing anything other than making music until I went to prison. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like, I'm gonna be the biggest rap artist that Virginia has ever seen, and I'm going to put niggas on. Like that was the way I felt, and there was a time when I felt like, it was a lot of people popping, but they all had somebody major behind them. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm like, shit, I ain't got none of that shit behind me, and my name ringing just as hard as the groups that they pushing or the people they pushing. So I felt like, when this thing pop off, it's gonna be so many people who gonna be able to validate everything that I'm saying and doing, that it's gonna be undeniable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no disrespect to no other rappers or rap crews, because I had love and respect for a lot of them. But people had Michael Vick, they had Pharrell, they had Iverson, they had Timberland, they had all of these people behind them. All I had was the streets.
Real shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. That's really.
Yeah, nah.
That's like you said. That's undeniable. You can't front on that.
Go ahead.
No. I was just saying, so that just made me felt like that when it does pop, is people gonna have to say, you know what, I gotta give it to him, dog. He did it really, really from the mud. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's real shit, man. That's one thing I definitely got out of your story. When and how did the Mick Benzo relationship come about?
Well, my homeboy Cold Crush Ken, Mick is his uncle, and he used to tell me about Mick, but I had never met him. So one day, Mick, he had a restaurant that he had opened in Norfolk called McBenzo's Fish and Chips, and he was bringing Fat Joe and all them down to like a grand opening. So my homie was like, "Yo, I'm gonna take you over here, and I'm gonna introduce you to my uncle, and you gonna spit for Fat Joe and them." So we went over there, and something had happened. Fat Joe and them was on their way, and they had to turn around and go back to New York. So he was like, "They coming tomorrow." So we went back that next day, and DJ B was out there DJing, and at the time I had already did a couple of promos for B. So Mick kind of put me on the spot, Ken was like, yo, this is my boy I was telling you about. So it's something I'll never forget. Eric B was in the room. King's son was in the room. Armageddon from Terror Squad. Fat Joe. All of them was just in the room, and Mick kind of put me on the spot. Like, everybody want to be a rapper. Everybody think they can spit. Well, let me hear you spit then, and you bet not be whack. So I just kind of went crazy right then, and I remember Fat Joe's reaction. He hopped up like, yo, where you from? Where you from, Mick? You know what I'm saying? And Mick had like a smile on his face, and he told me, I'm gonna make you a star. And a couple of weeks after that, you know, he reached out to me. He wanted to know if I had how many songs I had recorded. And at that time, I didn't have a lot of Big Kev songs recorded. You know what I'm saying? So I had a couple of songs that me and Don P had done or whatever. So Mick had put me with this guy named Scott. He had a state-of-the-art studio, and we went in there and started recording. And the first record that I actually recorded was the We Can Get It On record, which was the record that got me signed to Loud Records. You know what I'm saying? And Mick was a one thing I learned about Mick is that when you know people and you can make moves, Mick could make phone calls and make shit happen just like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was the first person to ever put some money in my pocket.
This was the first big step for you as a solo artist after, you know, certified dope, you know what I mean, had went their ways. The meeting with, you know, running into McBenzo, would you say that was like the first step in Big Kev's solo career? Okay. Yeah. So and going through all of this, man, you know what I mean, on this music journey, from having a group come from, you know, friends and brothers that you had met along the way, seeing that, you know what I mean, go their separate ways. Now you on the grind at this point. You get with McBenzo, and you've been working hard on this music shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Created a little buzz for yourself, and you finally get to signing. You know what I mean? Was it Pay Up Records with McBenzo, correct?
Yeah, Pay Up Records, and he had distribution with Loud.
Distribution with Loud. Yeah, I remember hearing you talk about the phone call with Steve Rifkin and calling Mom Dukes, man. And you know, this is where I'm coming to. So you get to the situation where you actually get compensated for your music efforts, man, to want to celebrate it with the fam, man, and then, you know, you lose your mother, man, or she, you know, has a situation after you just spoke to her, you know what I mean, telling her, look, Mom, this is what happened. We popping, you know what I'm saying? I got a record. They done cut me this bag. I'm about to bring you some chips. And then you get a phone call from your aunt, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's heavy, bro. That shit, when I watched it, you know what I'm saying, I connected, bro. You know, I lost my grandmother like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
sure.
I mean, that's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? How was you able to move on from that and keep it pushing? Because at this time, you're 19 years old.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Really, man, I just stayed busy. I never told this story before, but it didn't really hit me till like a year later. I stayed busy and I stayed working because I didn't want to think about it. And I remember my aunt, she's passed away now, but I remember it was about a year later, and I called my aunt, because that's where my mom stayed at her house. You talking about
Aunt Eunice?
Nah, my aunt Cynthia.
Okay.
My aunt Eunice is the one that called me to let me know. But I had called my aunt Cynthia, and I was like, is my mom there? And she kind of was like, huh? And I was like, yeah, let me speak to my mom real quick. And she said, is everything okay? And I said, yeah. And she said, baby, you know your mom passed away, right? You know your mom is no longer with us. And that's when it really really hit me because I didn't even cry at the funeral or nothing. I was more angry, and I sat on the end of the phone and I started crying because that's when it hit me that I couldn't even call my mom and talk to her no more. I couldn't call her and ask her for no advice, no nothing. And I had stayed so busy trying not to think about it that it felt like it was just a bad dream. Dang. But in reality, it was all real. And when it hit me that she was no longer here, I was fucked up because I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my aunt just kept saying, like, you probably need to talk to somebody or something. You know, maybe you need a little counseling or something. Because I was, you know, she was like, because it's been a year, and for you to call and actually speak to your mom lets me know that it didn't really resonate with you, what was really going on. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy because I met my dad for the first time, my real pops, the day before my mom's funeral. That was the first time I had ever met him. And, you know, he's never been a part of my life, and he couldn't even look me in my eyes. Like the whole time we was talking, he was looking down at the ground because he couldn't really make eye contact with me. You know what I'm saying? So, just staying busy and writing and trying to make something happen is how I dealt with it. You know what I mean?
That's heavy, bro. Respect, man. You know what I'm saying? Respect, man. Let Me Hold You Down was a record that made a lot of noise for you. You know what I mean? And it was a guy you had up there. I think his name was No. No. Well, how you meet No, man? Because you were saying that he sounded like people thought he was Jay-Z. Now, when I was listening to your story, I'm listening like, okay, but I went and looked at that video, right?
Yeah.
And nigga, you won't lie. Like, this nigga sound, and he ain't even trying to. This is how he talk, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Rhyme like that, nigga. If you close your eyes, that, I mean, it's uncanny, man, how much he sound like Jay-Z, man. But let me know how the Let Me Hold You Down record came together.
All right, well, Tommy Guns was the producer of the beat, and he had made some beats for me, and Humble had, you know, put me with Tommy Guns, and I got the beat. I was working on the song, but I hadn't really finished it, and Mick introduced me to No. He was getting ready to sign with Mick as well, and I knew No for like 5 minutes. And I was on my way to go do an interview on 103 Jams, and I took No with me. And we went on the air together, and we rhymed over the Annie Up beat. And, you know, we talked about a couple of things, and we stayed in contact. And then I had just hit him one day and was like, yo, I got this record. I want you to get on it. So he was like, word. So he came down, we did the record, and I knew it was out of here. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was out of here, and then he did, you know, he had already did the Thug City record, the 45 record. Right. So the whole thing about people thinking he was Jay-Z was already something going on, but a lot of people had never really seen him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when we did the record and shot the video, that was the first time a lot of people really got to lay eyes on what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? And
I mean, let me go. Do you think that him sounded like Jay-Z doing that record kind of helped the buzz and the push during that time, during that era? Because people were inquisitive?
Most definitely, because a lot of people, I don't even know who started the rumor, but people were saying that I had signed with Rockefeller. And because I had dealings with people that worked at Rockefeller, I guess, you know, people was like, yo, Kev got a record with Jay-Z. And instead of just saying, yo, this ain't Jay-Z, we just kind of let people talk.
Damn right.
Because
damn right.
by people talking, it made other people want to hear the song. You know what I'm saying? But on the vinyl, it said Big Kev featuring No Money. But even it was like people wasn't reading it. because people were saying, yeah, this boy from Virginia got a record with Jay-Z. But, you know, it definitely brought more eyes on me. It definitely put more attention on me. And people started listening, you know what I'm saying? So I thought it was a hell of a marketing move, you know what I'm saying? Because Mick was like, just be quiet. Let people talk. You know, you don't gotta dress everything. Just let everybody talk. We gonna keep doing what we doing. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when Mick Benzo put that bread in your pocket, you know what I'm saying? After you've been working, man, you know what I mean? And somebody believed in your shit enough to give you that money. You know what I'm saying? I think he said it was 10 grand. He said it was gonna be 15. He was gonna hit you with a couple more dollars the next. Yeah. Did that deter you from the streets, or did you take that money and go score?
I mean, well, honestly, it kinda took me from the streets for a little bit, but then when Big Pun passed away, right, and Mick was out on the road promoting Pun, I kind of felt like I was just left hanging, and you know, I wasn't working or nothing, so I took 3,000 and went and got some work.
So Big Pun passed away a week after your mom.
Yeah. And when they was promoting the Yeah Baby album, you know, I was just kind of stuck in Virginia. Mick was out on the road, and I said, shit, I gotta get some money, man. So I think I had about $7,000. I took 3 of it and went and copped some work. And
so
you know,
what did Droop? Because I heard you mention you was dealing with Droop. At this time, was he around? You know what I mean?
Nah, I didn't know Droop yet.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really know Droop yet at that time. I met Droop a little while further down the road. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you still doing your 1-2? Now the Let Me Hold You Down record, because it was making some noise, man. Like y'all was doing shows, interviews, moving around, and they told y'all had to shoot a video for this shit. So yeah, you shoot the video, send it out, and your man called you one day and was like, yo, turn on, you at the crib, nigga, turn the TV on. I thought you was about to say, when I'm listening to the story, I thought you was about to say, nigga, the video on TV, nigga, we out of here. But the way your story goes, bro, it's so much shit that happens, man. Like I said, it's a hell of a journey, bro. So in this particular situation, you got a hit record that's making hella noise. You got people behind you now. They tell you got to shoot this video. You shoot the video. You get a call. Hey, man, turn the TV on. You know what I'm saying? You turn on the goddamn TV to BET, and motherfucking Bow Wow and Omarion got a song called Let Me Hold You Down. And it's on, man. What the fuck was that like, bro? Like, I mean, because it seems like you keep going, like, at every point when they try to let the air out your bag, my nigga, you keep pushing. Like, how the fuck did you regroup from this?
I was so aggravated with that shit. I was so frustrated. And at the time, I didn't really know what to say, you know, because I think it was just by consequence. But I'll never forget EJ Greg said, nah, that ain't by consequence. Somebody heard this record and realized that you was a local artist from Virginia and that you didn't have a machine behind you. And I was just like, yo, what we gonna do? We gotta get the video to BET. And once we tried to get the video to BET, they wouldn't play the video because, you know, Bow Wow was already a big star.
Yeah.
And they basically was like, well, you trying to use the same record he used. And I'm like, nah, we already had this record. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of Let Me Hold You, the video, another song comes on. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I Got Everything. It was really a hood street record. And we like, yo, we gotta push I Got Everything now. Because I took advice from listening to Pac and all of them. They was like, if you drop something for the ladies side too, you gotta have something for the streets. So we came with the I Got Everything record and start pushing that. And I think that I Got even though Let Me Hold You was the bigger record, mm-hmm. I think I Got Everything made people say, hold up. Have you seen the video for this? Like, it showed people what was really going on. Like, this nigga is out here in the hood. Look at everybody out there. Like, look what's going on. Like, I think the I Got Everything record sold me. You know what I'm saying? It made people say, okay, this ain't just some fly by night. This nigga is out here. And Tommy Guns did that track as well, you know what I'm saying? And right. Ambulance to the Rick did the hook, and it was I think it showed people that in the area where I was from that there was a lot of people there because Droop was in that video. Okay, he's in that video. So was Boogie, Jack of Spade. Fam Lay was in the Let Me Hold You video. So right. It was like, you know, I think that I Got Everything video was more of who I was, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had to scramble everything that I got. So don't be surprised to see me go from the bottom straight to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have put me in that. I was really telling niggas, this is how I feel. You know what I'm saying? And I think when people watch that video, they say, okay, I get it. Right. This is him. So it was the gift and the curse. Even though everything happened with Let Me Hold You, I Got Everything made people say, okay, he can rap. Like, he ain't just a fly-by-night guy that had a song that was buzzing. Like, right. he switched it up real fast. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just knew that we can't stop the ball from rolling. We gotta keep our foot on their neck. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this question. You mentioned Ambassador Rick. We did an interview with him on the Hard Rapp Cafe. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ambassador Rick. Damn right. Yeah, shout out to he mentioned you during the interview. He said, and I gotta give you your mics. You know what I'm saying? We don't give people's flowers at Hard Rapp Cafe. We give you turntables and microphones. You feel me? But okay, as dope as an MC as you are, you know what I'm saying? Solo group. It seems like you was always bringing. A lot of niggas say they gonna put niggas on. A lot of niggas say they gonna bring niggas with you, but you was actually doing that in motion in real time. Ambassador Rick spoke about a story on our podcast about how you brought him with you, like doing shows and stuff like that. How do you meet Ambassador Rick, and what's your connection to the homie?
Well, I met Ambaz. I was throwing a show at the Smithville skating ring, and Carlito G from 103 Jams was there, and Big Benzo was there, and we had like people opening up the show, and we had like a rap battle going on. And one day I was it used to be a store called Upscale Design over there by New Market. So right by the alley. So one day I was coming out of there, and Ambaz and his man, you know, they walked up on me, and he was like, yo, man, I was trying to get on that show that you got going on in Smithville this weekend, man. And I was like, yo, all the slots is already filled. And he was like, oh, word. But I was just like, well, look, if you can get there by this time, I'll let you perform anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really know him from nowhere. But so they got there, they performed, and he tore it down. I was like, damn, that nigga nice, you know what I'm saying? And so later on down the road, him and Humble, they were already friends. I didn't even know Humble when I met Ambaz, but later on down the road, Humble was like, Ambaz, he was doing something with the embassy, but now he was about to do the whole DID thing, and we just started doing shows together. And like whenever I had a show, I would take him with me, and we was in the studio with Knots, and I was about to get a couple of tracks from Knots, and instead of me taking 2 beats from Knots, I just got 1, and I let Ambaz get a beat. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought he was an ill nigga, and I never been the type of person to, because somebody else was good at something, to be like, oh, nah, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about me. I was always the type of person that felt like, what if it ain't me that pop? It could be this nigga, or it could be that person. But if we all on the same team, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't me and it's him, he gonna grab me. And if it's me, not him, I'm gonna grab him. You know what I'm saying? Like I never was a very selfish person, because I always felt like that in this game, you gotta keep niggas around you that's nice too, to keep you on your feet. Because a lot of dudes be having rap niggas around them, but them niggas be trash. So of course they always the best nigga. But me, I wanted the best dudes around me, not only to keep me on my toes, but I wanted to put together a team that people say, listen, you don't want to go with them niggas, man.
Right.
It's a lot of them niggas and they all nice, you know what I'm saying? And me and Ambaz just had a good relationship. We did a couple of freestyles together. You know, I just had him on my radio show. You know, we just had a good vibe, man. And I always liked his flow. And I remember there was a time when me and him was talking, because, you know, he was more, I don't want to say like a conscious rapper, but he was more on like some real positive stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember one day I just told him, I said, yeah, all that's dope. I said, but that ain't what niggas want to hear right now. You know, I'm like, that's why you don't really see a lot of those rappers selling records. I'm like, you got to hit niggas with some gangster shit and reel them in, and then you can hit them with all the positive, uplifting stuff, but you got to make them want to hear you first. And he went in the studio and he rhymed over the bitches ain't shit beat. And it's like, I don't know, that shit set some off in him. And he went in there and tore that shit down. And I was like, yeah, that's what niggas want to hear right there, nigga. That's what they want to hear. Ain't nothing wrong with the positive stuff, but you got to reel them in for the positive shit. Because, you know, you might be saying the realest shit ever and the nigga ain't even listening to you because it's positive. You know what I'm saying? And at that time, you know, unfortunately, a lot of positive rappers wasn't really getting the shine, the airplay. And when he got on that beat, I said, yeah, this nigga is a goddamn monster. You know what I'm saying? And
Ambassador Rick is dope, bro.
Yeah, and we just, you know, we always stayed friends. And, you know, we went through a period where we didn't see each other, talk to each other for years, because I went to prison and all that. But
so what was going on at this time? Because you got the music popping. Now, I remember you talking about Droop had a show or a party in Houston or something like that.
Yeah.
And he hit you at the last minute and was like, you know, your man couldn't come with you. Your man can't come with you. It's still room for you to go, but you ended up turning down the trip. Like, I'll catch the next one, and you stayed home, and then, you know, your life changes, man. Can you tell me, you know, what happened in that situation? You know what I mean? Now, at this time, I also want to know is this around this is after the Let Me Hold You Down I mean, to let me hold you
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was further down the road. Well, at that time I had started dealing with Droop.
Right.
I felt like I needed a new manager, and I felt like Droop was a person who could take me to the next level.
Right.
So, you know, me and Droop had a couple of sit downs and a couple of talks, and I had a record called Like featuring Young Flames. It was getting a lot of play, and you know, Droop was telling me about All-Star Weekend, so me and my man AK was gonna go, and you know, we was getting ready to drop the mixtape Gangsta Music with Jack of Spade, and when he said that AK couldn't go, I was just kind of like because I didn't want to be down there without at least one of my homies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though I knew I was in good hands, I just didn't want to be down there with a bunch of niggas that I didn't really know. You know what I'm saying? So when he said AK couldn't go, I was just kind of like, oh man, and AK told me to go. And I was like, nah, man, if you can't go, I ain't going. You know, I had never been to All-Star Weekend, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you can't go, I ain't going, nigga. We just catch it next year. And that night that I was supposed to leave, the police kicked the door in. And, you know, they found the guns and the drugs and the money. And, you know, I was in jail with no bond. And then they finally gave me a bond. A week later, I finally got out. And, I mean, that kind of started the spiral of things, you know, going all the way wrong.
They circle back on you. They circle back on you with the convicted felon gun charge. But this is this is after you went to 106 in Park, though, because you went to 106 in Park and battled Hollow the Don. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, no, I caught the case first. I was out on bond. I was waiting to go to trial when I battled Hollow on 106.
Okay. Right.
The trial had got postponed for like a year. You know what I'm saying? So I was out on bond and I was feeling like I'm gonna beat the case.
Right.
And you know, unfortunately,
you had a deal bubbling with Universal at the time or something, right? They was ready to cut you.
Universal was ready. They was ready to cut me a check. They had reached out to Mick, and you know, even though I lost on 106 in Park, Mick got phone calls.
Right.
Like, yo, I like dude. And with the Like On record going the way it was, Universal was like, well, we got $250,000 for him right now up front. And Mick was like, man, we can go get this $250,000 and you can get low and you can work on the album. But we had to tell them that I had a case. They didn't know I had a case. And he was like, because you don't want to take this check and go to trial and something go wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we had to let them know that I had a case. And, you know, but we thought we was going to beat it. The lawyer said that I won't go into prison. If worst case scenario, I might have to do a year. You know what I'm saying? So we like, a year ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's the worst case scenario. But it turned into
you thought you was gonna beat the gun charge and just have to fight the dope charge, but you landed in front of this dickhead judge. You know what I'm saying?
Racist ass. And I knew from the moment that they said that was the judge, I knew it was gonna be a bad situation.
So this man gave you 37 motherfucking years. Suspended 30 for you to do 7, but then he hit you with 30 years of fucking probation, my nigga. How did you get through that? Now, before you answer that, you talked about being in a holding cell during the trial time, and you ran into one of AI little cousins, and they was talking to some cat, and he talking about they done took your tray or some shit, and you know what I mean? Do you remember the little cousin name?
Nah, I don't, man. Because I didn't know him.
Right.
He had told me, I know his last name was Iverson, and he had told me that Iverson was his cousin. Right. And you know, we were talking, and he was like, I seen you on the news. And I'm like, yeah. You know, I can't remember dude's name for real, because after that I never really seen him again. You know what I'm saying? But dude that was talking crazy, you know, the funny thing is that I've heard so many stories from niggas. Oh, I slapped Big Kev. I robbed Big Kev yesterday, and all this and that. And people would be like, yo, you got robbed yesterday? Like, no, I didn't get robbed yesterday. What the fuck you talking about? So niggas would, I don't know why niggas would make up these stories, and maybe because my name was ringing, they would attach my name to it. Like, I walked on stage and snatched the mic out of Big Kev's hand and he ain't do shit. And I used to be like, well, where the fuck was I at when all this happened? You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point that I used to hear so many stories, all I could do was laugh. Because I guess niggas was under the impression that I didn't have niggas in the street. But I had niggas who then ran down on niggas.
Right.
And when they ran down on niggas, niggas started swearing on their kids and everything. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know why niggas was on the bullshit, but you know, I guess, you know, people get around people, they like to make themselves look bigger than what they are, or because I had a little name for myself, people felt like if somebody said, well, I slapped Big Kev yesterday, it was gonna make people look at them differently. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get why niggas was telling all these lies and doing all this old crazy shit. But I used to hear so many stories that all I could do was say, man, these niggas gotta find something better to do. Cause it's been a couple of times that I approached niggas like, yo, you told niggas you was gonna do something to me, nigga? And nigga like, nah, bro, I won't even like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, I don't know what you heard about me or what somebody done told you, but I don't take threats too kindly, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't fuck around and make this shit turn into something else. Not to say that I'm the most hardest, thoroughest nigga in the world, because I don't even portray myself like that. But I didn't like the fact that niggas was running around doing all this old sucker shit. Then they see me and they want to dap me up and act like they my mans and shit. And I'm like, yo, these niggas is terrible, man. You know what I'm saying?
What year was it that you caught this case?
I caught my case in 06.
Damn, man. You know what I mean? After, you know what I mean, doing, like, it seems like to me, man, listening to your story, man, you grinded, you fucking built relationships, you put money behind your shit, man. Y'all worked, and it was just stumbling blocks along the way, but you kept pushing. Now, when this case hit you, man, what did that do as far as your music career go? Did you feel like, man, this a wrap after this? Did you lose interest in the music, or how, you know, what was that like? Cause shit, that's 7 of them things, bro.
Well, when it first happened, you know, like I was saying, I thought I was gonna beat the case, and I think by them putting it on the news and putting me in the newspaper, it made people say, okay, look, this nigga is really rapping what he's doing,
right?
Like, so I think it kind of added a little bit of mystique to me. It made people who say, oh man, that nigga ain't in the streets. It made people say, look, man, this nigga is really out here. But once I got found guilty and I was waiting for sentencing, I was like, it's over with. I didn't really know how much time I was gonna get or what, but I was like, it's over with, man. And I didn't really know what to do. You know, I was just kind of lost, just trying to figure it out. And once I got shipped off to prison, and I couldn't just be Kevin, because when I got to prison and, you know, I'm locked up with all these people from all these places, this is when I really started to realize how many people really knew who I was. Cause niggas would be staring at me and shit, and I'd be like, yo, why is this nigga staring at me? And he'd be like, yo, you Big Kev? And I'm like, yeah, I'm Big Kev. And like, yo, my nigga, I'm from Hopewell. Yo, I'm from Petersburg. And yo, my nigga, I got love for you. You know what I'm saying? So then I finally realized, like, damn. And I was just thinking, like, I fucked up, man. I fucked up. But then I was thinking, like, well, shit, as long as I stay right, maybe when I come home, you know, I was seeing how they was doing all these niggas that when they came home from prison, everybody was rolling out the red carpet and doing all this for them. So, you know, I started working out, dropping weight. I'm writing rhymes. I'm like, when I go home, this gonna make my story 10 times more powerful. Somebody gonna give me about a meal. But then I came home and it was like niggas didn't even want to give me phone numbers.
Dang.
They didn't even want to see me get in the mix. And niggas had made all...
What'd that make you feel like, bro?
It made me feel like niggas just didn't want to see me win. They would rather it be anybody in the world but me. You know what I'm saying? And my thing was, all of these niggas hated on me, right? But I've been gone for 7 years, and you niggas ain't did shit. You niggas ain't popped off. You niggas ain't had a hit record. You niggas ain't did shit. But you hated on me like you was so much better than me, or you could make so many better moves than me. But I've been gone for 7 years, and I come home, you niggas still rapping in open mics? So I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear nothing from none of you niggas. Like, that's how I felt. Because I'm like, you mean to tell me not one of you niggas got no type of breakthrough? But every time I turn around, I heard my name coming out somebody's mouth, or niggas hating on me. And I'm like, yo, I've been going for 7 years, my nigga. 7 years. And not one of you niggas have done a fucking thing. Don't come at. I don't want to hear nothing about how nice you are. I don't want to hear nothing about what type of moves you making, because you niggas didn't do shit for 7 years. I came home, I was in the front page of the newspaper a week after being home. I was on live. They wasn't even doing interviews on 103 Jams no more like that with artists. I was right back in the mix. I had a live interview with Jack of Spade. Like, I came home like, yo, nigga, we gonna turn this shit up a fucking notch. These niggas gonna know the real. But the bad thing was I didn't have no bread.
Right.
Now, when you came home, that's what I was going to ask you. So when you came home, you didn't have the backing of like Mick Benzo no more, or Droop none of them was in your corner when you came home to kind of.
Well, I got with Droop a couple of months after I had been home, because I didn't know how to get a hold of him. But Mick wasn't really in position no more. He was just kind of managing the Ice-T Hard Rapp tour, because he's the manager of that tour. And, you know, he was a little laid back. I mean, you know, we talked a couple of times, and, you know, we tried to get some things in motion, but the game had changed so much. And I never forget, niggas say, man, your story too real. See, niggas don't want to celebrate somebody who really did it, but they celebrating all these niggas rapping about it who ain't did none of the shit they talking about. Like, everything that niggas is rapping about, you really done, but niggas wasn't trying to celebrate that. They were celebrating, you know, the game was so different now. And, you know, I'm listening to rappers, and, you know, the way niggas rap had changed. So, you know, I had to adapt. And I had this crazy idea for the stand-up record. And I was like, yo, I need to get Iverson, I need to get Vic, I need to get everybody to make an appearance in this video. And I'm like, this is gonna make niggas pay attention to VA. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I could get Pusha T on the remix. You know, like, I had all these plans and goals with no money. But I'm just thinking like, well, maybe, you know, somebody gonna say, yo, this shit gonna work. But it didn't work. And I remember Pusha T was like, he wanted $10K for a feature. And I keep it 100. I didn't have the bread. I'm just coming home from prison. I didn't come home to niggas giving me a lot of bread and all of these things. So I was just kind of like, okay, we got to make it work a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Because it ain't gonna work this way. We don't got the money to do this. So we just got to make it work a different way, man. And, Drew gave me the realest advice when I came home. When he said, these niggas ain't your friends. He said, these niggas gonna tell you we got this going, that going, whoop-de-whoop, but they never gonna include you because you are a threat to anything they have. So a nigga will tell you all day what he got going on, but he never gonna include you in none of this. And he was like, these niggas ain't your friends, dog. And I want you to know that. Stop thinking that niggas got love for you, because for real, niggas know what's up. And they ain't stepping to the plate to try to hurry up and get you in this goddamn mix, because niggas don't want to see you in the mix, because it make it look like, well, what the fuck y'all been doing for 7 years if he came home and got in the mix just like this?
Yeah. Real shit,
so,
man.
That led to me moving to the A and, all that shit, you know what I'm saying? But I got love for VA genuinely and the music scene. But niggas have very whack mentalities here.
Yeah, man.
And it's so sad because we should have had the same run. It skipped over us, went straight to North Carolina.
Yeah.
We should have had a run where 4 or 5 rap niggas popped off. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't get that. We didn't have that because niggas got fucked up mentalities. Niggas, and this ain't no shot at Bebe, but it broke my heart to see niggas pushing a crackhead with all of these niggas out here that had put work in for all these years. Niggas didn't rally behind, but niggas rallied behind a crackhead, which to me made us look bad.
Do you feel
like,
that was?
Do you feel
that was because you think that niggas knew Bebe won't no fucking threat for real? Like it was like some, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel you on that. Like niggas jump behind that, and shout out to Point Guard, man. You know what I'm saying? Who produced that joint? Yeah, that was kind of shocking. Like they wrote for Bebe. You know what I'm saying? So
I felt like because niggas seen a couple of celebrities reshare his video, that they rallied behind it. And of course I wanted to see Stay Free win, because he was down with Stay Free and all that. But I'm like, what the fuck is he saying? Nothing. Newport packs, I be massaging. Paul Masson bottles, I be massaging. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I was in Atlanta and a nigga asked me, he said, ain't you from VA? I said, yeah. He said, the illest nigga y'all got is a nigga that like you get high. And that shit kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, niggas out here rallying around a crackhead. But it was niggas that put work in, not just saying myself. And y'all ain't rallied behind them. But y'all rallied behind a nigga that's maybe he a little off mentally and smoked crack because a couple of celebrities shared his fucking video.
Yeah, man.
But imagine somebody major coming to the city and seeing him out here walking around in the streets looking like he do. That make us look corny as fuck.
Yeah, man. Social media.
But you can't tell niggas nothing. You can't tell niggas nothing because all niggas cared about was, some celebrity shared this video. We about to get some shit popping. This nigga running around telling niggas, yeah, I'm at the Grammys. What, motherfucker? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it fucked me up because I'm like, yo, this is why we never gonna get it, man. Because you niggas would rather rally behind somebody like that, knowing that after that song it was over with, than rally behind some niggas who could really make something happen.
Right.
So it just made me say, man.
Let me ask you this question. Virginia is known for the Chesapeake Bay, right?
Okay.
You from Hampton. Hampton High School is their logo is the Crabbers. Virginia's known for crabs, right? And black people as a whole have, being over here for over the past 400 years through all the trauma, we have this crabs in the bucket mentality. You feel me?
Yeah.
When it comes to Virginia hip hop, and I got to say this because even me and my niggas and my crew, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wanted to see nobody else win. You feel me?
Yeah, but then,
everybody felt that everybody else was a threat. There's so many crews out there in Virginia from the South Side. You had the Gypsies, you had the Junipers Elite, Fat Naga Civilians, Black World Order. You had Crew Thick, my group, you know what I'm saying? You had Born Natural, DMP, you know what I'm saying? Like,
DMP,
just think about, you know what I'm saying? You had the Suspects, you know what I'm saying? You had Newport
Spy
King.
Raiders.
You had the Buddha Brothers, Mike Lord, you know what I'm saying? Double XL, you know what I'm saying? There's so many people, the Gypsies, female groups out Virginia Beach, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought about when you said that, what type of run do you think Virginia, and then yourself and all that you was coming with and what you was bringing, like, when you see like the South, you had Houston, you got Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because I was in the marketing promotion, and 103 Jams in the Virginia area was always number 2. And sometimes it would beat out New York far as radio, far as record sales and publicity. Like, the 7 cities was like, and I forget, for a few years, it was even beating out New York. You feel me? Why didn't we have the run that we should have had? Because when you look at other crews in other parts of the country, wasn't nobody fucking with us. Just like with all the athletes that was coming out of Virginia, like, don't nobody know, you know what I'm saying, what we had. What do you think about the run we could have had?
I think if somebody would have just stepped up and said, look, this shit gonna go, I think right now we would still be dominant. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world that we got all these producers and athletes from here and we haven't had a run. I mean, even if you look at the R&B, from Chris Brown to Trey Songz to Missy, you know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world that we didn't have this major run, like Atlanta, Texas, like you were saying. And to me, it goes back to the mentality of the people here. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers adapt you up and tell you they wish you well, but they ain't gonna support you until they see everybody else support you. And you have a lot of sucker ass rap niggas here.
Yes,
niggas that come dap you up, but when you ain't around, these niggas talking shit about you to they crew. You know what I'm saying? And see, me, I used to feel like you don't have to like me, but you gonna respect me. You don't gotta like me. We don't gotta be buddy. We ain't shared no sweaters together. We ain't come up together, but you gonna respect me. A lot of these niggas, jealousy in your heart is a terrible thing. And when people see, oh, Crew Thick balling out, they making moves. Man, if Iverson were behind them, they wouldn't be doing this or they wouldn't be doing that. I'm better. But then when they see niggas from Crew Thick, first thing they want to do is dap you up and, oh man, y'all niggas the shit, man. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? But for real, that ain't how they really feel. See what I'm saying?
Real shit.
And we have a lot of that in Virginia. A lot of that smile in your face, front and shit. And you know, I don't want to put niggas on Front Street, but it's a lot of niggas that I know for a fact hated on me. But when they see me, they be like, yo, peace, king. What's up, legend? now that I'm not on that shit, but it be sometimes I be ready to say, man, shut your bitch ass up, nigga. But instead, I just be like, yeah, what's up, dog? Because I don't want to keep that negative energy going. But I be saying, like, I know you a sucker ass nigga. And I know you hated on me. And I know you done said some things about me. So why when you see me, do you dap me up acting like we cool, nigga? You know what I'm saying? But because I fell back and I'm not really pursuing it, I let niggas be them. Because if you want to be fake, if you want to be a pretender, that's cool. But them niggas will never go nowhere. They'll never go nowhere. They might have a name here, but they'll never go nowhere because their heart ain't right. See, it's easy to pretend, oh, you a good dude and I'm all about support and bringing people up. But then when you look at their actions, you don't see that. See what I'm saying? You don't see that. Niggas be thinking they Hove and they ain't even sold 10,000 records. You know, niggas be like, oh, I'm the sound of the town. No, you're not. You one of the niggas that's buzzing in the town. But if you was really that nigga, you would rise above everybody. You see that boy from Northern Virginia that had that $1 Million Baby record? He got nominated for a Grammy. And niggas ain't even talking about him. Right.
I ain't even know he was from Northern Virginia.
Yeah, and they used this song in a Wingstop commercial and some more shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I don't know him personally, but it should have been a lot more about him. You know what I'm saying?
The nigga did.
The dude, Brom, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He was from Shell Road, to my knowledge. And you don't even hear niggas talking about him. And he had 2 big records. Now he's starting to fade away. And I personally never heard him big up Virginia.
Never. Yeah, Drake took shit like that and ran with it.
You know, I never ever once heard him big up Virginia. And when everybody was out here grinding, I didn't ever hear his name in the mix. But he was in the right place at the right time. And something happened for him. But, you know, where was the support at to rally around him when he had the biggest record in the country? When Pusha T album debuted #1 on the charts, what was the support to rally around him? But it would have been a Gucci Man, a Jeezy, or a NBA Youngboy. All these niggas would have been talking about it. But they didn't do it for our own people. You know what I'm saying?
What's gonna change that, Big Kev?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I think that we gotta somebody gotta be in position to see what everybody else see. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, because I be so throwed off when I see niggas on making moves and they start signing niggas from Chicago and all these other places, but they didn't. I'm like, it wasn't nobody here that could fuck with that person. There was not one artist in the state of Virginia that you could think of that was better or just as good as that person. So I don't know. Because it's almost like people want to be the only thing popping and everybody else is just in the waiting line. You know what I'm saying? Like you see artists doing songs with each other. Niggas don't even promote the record. Only the artist whose record it is promoted. The niggas on the songs don't even promote the record. Because niggas be having these ego issues. And I'm like, if you ain't got no millions of dollars, man, put that ego shit to the side. But you know, bro. People gonna be who they be, man.
Man, shout out your radio show, man, before we button this up and what you got going on.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, man, every Thursday night, 8:30 to 10:30, Feed the Streets Radio. Me and DJ Brooklyn Joker. We play more than VA music, but it's mostly VA music from all over Virginia, not just the 7 cities. And just trying to push the culture forward and let people be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my way of giving back to the artists. You know what I'm saying?
What's your social media handle? Where can the people find you at on social media?
On Instagram, you can check me out, VA Big Kev. On Facebook, I'm Ill Slogan Tees, because that's the name of my little t-shirt company where I be doing shirts and stuff. I'm not really on too many other things. We got a Feed the Streets radio page on Facebook and Instagram. But I ain't, I'm not a big social media dude. So I can't be having all these pages. Right now, I think the next goal is to put Feed the Streets on Twitch. But
man, listen, y'all definitely go over to Big Kev platforms, but definitely tap in on Facebook, Ill Slogan Tees at the Truth and Nothing But series, man. He breaking down his story. Dope story, man. Great brother, man. We really appreciate you, man, for coming over to Hard Rap. Go ahead, Smoke.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me up here, man.
I gotta say this before we get off, man, because I love you, man. Before I knew you, I always had love for you. And for years, I would tell my niggas, me and my niggas, the world probably don't know this is the illest group of MCs ever, collection ever in the history of hip-hop, hands down. I'll debate anybody for any amount of money, anytime, any place, anywhere right now. But I always had love for you. I always told my niggas about you. And I wanted you to be a part of Crew Thick, nigga. Like, I was like, we didn't fuck with a lot of niggas, you know what I'm saying? But you a nigga, I always felt like you was one of us, my nigga. And you was great. You still are great. And I want to give you your microphones, man.
Definitely,
because,
man.
You know what I'm saying? Your story
for real. I do.
is legendary. You a legend, man.
And you did that shit
Man,
the right
thank you, man. I appreciate that, G. Real talk.
You did that shit the right way, bro. Nothing but respect, man. Listening to your story, bro, you know what I mean, is inspiring, man. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Much respect to you, man, moving forward and everything you got going on. So we just want to say, man, thank you for tapping in with Hard Rapp Cafe. I'm your host, Rocky Dennis, my co-host, Smoke God, and joining us on this episode, the king of motherfucking Virginia. You goddamn right, you heard it. Big Kev, you know what I'm saying? Certified dope. That, you know what I mean? And man, thank you, my brother.
Yeah, thank no doubt, man. I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all got to come on my show, man.
Definitely, man. We can line it up.
Most definitely.
Yeah, we're going to line it up so y'all can come up there and talk about the show and everything y'all got going on over here, bro.
For
definitely,
sure.
Man. Appreciate that, Big Kev. Respect, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. And y'all be safe.
All right, you too, bro. Salute.
All right, one.